looking at the guy that's the reason that college athletes and high school athletes are getting paid today. Mr. Influencer to influencers. Secondly, Jimmy Kimmel, viral this. I fight to eradicate childhood malnutrition from the planet. And until they release the flight logs, you, the mainstream media, Hollywood, are all pedophiles to me. Eat dick. Am I canceled yet.com?
Jimmy, would you please respond? Yeah. If you don't, I won't believe I'm wrong. If you're on the list, you're canceled too. Until you respond, we'll assume it's true. Until you respond, we'll assume it's true. Until you respond, we'll assume it's true. And if you're on the list, that means you too. Means you too. Jimmy, would you please respond? If you don't, I won't believe I'm wrong.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mimi, and welcome to Politics Plus Podcast. We have Mark and Mel co-hosting with me today, and we have a very special guest. If y'all don't know him, you're about to learn. Welcome, King Bau.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Hi, welcome.
What's up?
I like you guys' energy so far. You guys sound pretty
That's
dope.
why we
I'm
wanted
glad to
you
be here.
because we like your energy.
Oh, well, perfect.
Yep, we sure
Reflections.
do. Thanks for wearing the straps.
Have to. Hey, we're dominating the media. Day 25 of the Jimmy Kimmel Challenge.
Yes, we are.
What? We're on day 26 now. I win. I've won. This is celebratory.
26,
Okay?
yeah.
Yeah. These people are stupid. They don't know who they're fucking
So
with,
for
and that's
those
the
who
point.
are living under a rock, can you please give us a description of who you are? What is it that you're doing? What's this challenge about?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel and the mainstream media fell directly into my trap. They were stupid. They decided to run with a herpes story instead of me talking about eradicating malnutrition and helping people. And we set them up. They didn't know it was a setup. And now they're getting owned for it. Don't say my name. That's also another thing. My name's King Bau for a reason. That comes from my rap name, my old rap name, which used to be Say It Whispering. So I used to say my name, and the whole thing of this is when my name in your mouth, whisper it because you ain't worthy to say it aloud. So don't speak my name. Just don't speak my name. It's not a good thing. And if you're going to try to make me look stupid, I'm going to make you look even worse. That's the rapper in me. That's just the rapper. That's the challenge. Literally, the Jimmy Kimmel challenge is just he said my name. That's it. Don't say my name. Now you're going to get owned for it. I'm going to expose everybody. You know, I'm going to expose mainstream media.
From him?
46 days. That's all it's going to take. That's in my mind. It's going to take 46 days. The amount of speed we're picking up, I gained 30,000 followers on all my different platforms in the last 3 weeks while shadow banned. I mean, I'm one of the most shadow banned people on the planet. I believe that for a long time. People talk about Andrew Tate. People want to talk about Alex Jones. I was deplatformed off of YouTube in 5 months. 5 months of consistent posting. It didn't take me long. You know, we've been talking about things for the last 3.5, 4 years, and I show it. I've been showing it on my Facebook. I have a whole highlight on Instagram called #ShadowBanGod or #ShadowBanGod, and it's just like I've been showing exactly how they've been doing stuff, how they're limited numbers, and this is a spiritual war. and they're going to get owned. They don't know who they're dealing with. 144,000 is here.
Nice. Hey, speaking of Alex Jones, how was your experience with him and on Infowars?
So I was with Owen because I think he was out of town. I don't remember what he was doing, but he was out of town. But it was an incredible experience. Owen was very, very impressed with me, and I was very, very impressed with Owen. At one point in time, I didn't necessarily think that he was, the best interviewer or whatever may have you. I couldn't really stomach him. I didn't have a palate for him. But he's grown over the years, and we actually became friends. Like, it was cool because I said I wanted to be on Infowars by the end of the year. And, we made that happen after two viral interviews. And it was good to kind of clear that. I don't know if it's karma, but just like the ego, the whatever, like it was good to be man to man and to be talking about things that actually matter, and having a respectful conversation. And they offered me the ability to come back whenever I want. So that's what's really nice.
You have a platform
I think everybody's starting to see. Well, yeah, I think everybody's starting to see that I'm not just a fighter. And that's been the point. I haven't been just a fighter. I'm much more than that. I was an entrepreneur before I ever started fighting. I have nourished 1 million children in my company, a couple years ago. Like, people just are catching up to my timeline. And I'm grateful. I'm truly grateful. It's just I've been doing a lot of things for a long time. So I'm grateful.
Hey, Mark, you want to?
So, I was going to say, what is it about children that touches you that strongly, King, that makes you want to do what you've done for them so far in life?
I mean, I was adopted. I grew up on a farm. I was adopted. The mother of my children gave me life, and she picked the parents that I have now to raise me out in the middle of nowhere, and I always looked at it like my name was going to mean something. My parents adopted me because they couldn't have children. My mom suffered from some intestinal issues. If she had children, she'd probably die. So when I was going to be my dad's only son. And so we came from a, small farmer community, lived in a trailer home, didn't have a cool last name. I do have a cool last name. Didn't have, wasn't one of the rich families or whatever. You know how it is in small towns, the bullshit, the dumb shit. And I wanted to make my name mean something. And
you think you might want to ever adopt kids of your own?
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna have an orphanage. I'm gonna have an orphanage.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say both my children are adopted, and they came
beautiful.
from really, really bad situations. Their father is in prison for trying to kill my son when he was 20 months old.
Crazy.
And not to mention they were both born with 3 different illegal drugs in their systems. But one thing that I have noticed being a dad of 2 kids that aren't even my own blood is that I do love them as much as if they were my own blood, and they love me the same way.
Hey, bro, it will always be that you're their father, and I commend you, and I'm grateful for you to even have the heart to be willing to open your life up to them. That is
it's been a real blessing.
Thing. Yes, I mean, so for me, you asked me what touched me. Well, growing up, I did make my name mean something. I led my town to its first state championship in football. Small town of 700 kids, or 700 people. You know what I mean? We won our first wrestling state championship that same year as well. And these were all things that all of us kids grew up dreaming about. Like, someday we're going to do it, and then we did it. It's not necessarily likely to go Division I where I'm from before we did it. And now, we have a lineage of wrestling, of kids that are wrestling that have it's the standard now. Like, hey, it's okay to be a state champion. Hey, it's okay to go wrestle Division I. And that's kind of the legacy that I wanted to leave in that town. And I feel like with all the things that I've done, from business to everything, speaking, traveling, I've made my life mean something. And with my company, I was sitting around one day. We can get into that later. But when Sam Castor bought out my company and introduced this buy one, nourish two model, where we're working with President Vicente Fox, where we're working with Operation Underground Railroad to nourish sex trafficked children back to health. I was sitting in the crowd, and I was kind of blessed. I wasn't necessarily working because I was making enough residual income in my company to do whatever I wanted. That's how I got into music. That's how I got into all these things. And I listened to him say that we're going to feed the world's most vulnerable children, and we'll be the reason that no child dies from malnutrition. And here I am. That company allowed me to have my life back. I suffered a head injury, and some of their products, one of their products helped kind of nourish me back to health. I'm not making medical claims, but I was told I never wrestle again. And then 2.5 weeks later on this product, I was medically cleared to wrestle, so they can eat it. Never mind. And now how many years later we've nourished over 1 million children? How many years later we've helped thousands of people? See, a lot of people they wonder why I am the way that I am, and it's because of my experience in the real world. You can't take the fact away from me. You can't take it away from me, the fact that I've helped thousands of people get healthier, and that I've nourished millions of, that I've sent millions of nourishment of servings to children, life-saving technology to children. You can't take that away from me. You can't say anything to me. Everybody asks, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? We're doing something already. You just don't know. So here I fight to give that message a platform. That's why I'm fighting. I'm already putting my life on the line. I'm putting my life on the line to save children. What are you doing? Okay, well, you can't talk to me then. You can't say anything that's going to, so hopefully
you
that
have a
makes
whole
sense.
life experience.
That's why
that
I
you
felt
can't
passion.
get in the hallways of a university.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's Sam adopted all of his children. So Sam Castor, if you don't know who Sam Castor is, go look up Sam Castor. He was the founder of Manatech. Manatech brought an Ace Mannin technology to the world. If you don't know what Ace Mannin is, it's a shame. And again, that's a whole nother story. Most natural research molecule on the planet, over $100 million in 100 peer-reviewed studies to show what it does in the human body. And what it does is it turns on the immune system better than anything else. Better than anything else. There's nothing on the planet that gives the immune system the response that it gets from Ace Mannin. You want to know where it comes from? Aloe vera and mother's breast milk. And the reason it couldn't be passed, and what it does in the human body, is it helps the body create more stem cells. So over 100 peer-reviewed studies to show exactly what it does. I'm not making no claims, but the science is already there. It's already done if people have the knowledge. So Sam, built Manatech, which it was evaluated a $4 billion company at one point in time in the early 90s and 2000s. And started donating some of this Ace Mannin technology to these orphanages because he adopted all of his children. I think he has 12 children, all adopted. Man's had a very, very successful life. And his goal was to feed the children of the world. Because when he was donating this technology to orphanages, the reason he started is because they started coming back to him where he was donating his children from, adopting his children from. And he said they told him that they were losing 30 to 40 kids a year due to malnutrition. And here Sam Castor is with the #1 immune boosting technology in the floor. He's like, well, I'm just going to start donating it. Well, 2008 hits when the crash hits and they got to stop donating to some orphanages. And after 1 year of donating, no child died. So that hurt him. That hurt him. Now these orphanages aren't losing any more children because the children are healthy enough to withstand a cold and withstand the flu or withstand whatever. So divine intervention, he goes to his shareholders and says, hey, I want to do this buy one, nourish two model. We already have a bunch of people on our product line. If we just now to give one, if we do this buy one, nourish two model, will they buy something? And then we give them, we can save these children. We can still continue to it. And his shareholder said, nah, he's the president of his company. He helped build this you know what I mean? He helped build this company. They said no. So he left and said, God's going to provide me something better. A couple months go by. And remember how big I told you that company was, right? A couple months go by, and the guy and the scientist that helped him extract Ace Mannin the first time calls him up. He says, Sam, you're never going to guess what happened. Remember that Ace Mannin technology that you used to build Manatech and make it all that it is? I found a way to make it 3 times more bioavailable for the body. But today I figured out a way, and I have extracted and I've patented the process to make it 5 times more bioavailable and ready than what you had at Manatech. Manatech was a $4 billion company. Sam goes, what are you going to do with the technology? He says, I don't know. He says, you're going to license it exclusively to me, and I'm going to bring it to save the world's children. Well, now here we are 47 million servings later in 3 years because he bought out our old company and infused all of our products with Ace Mannin. And we're the first ever social business 3.0. It's a buy one, nourish two model. And that's how we're saving the children. That's why we're partnered with Vicente Fox. That's why we're partnered with Nobel Peace Prize winner Muhammad Youssef. That's why we're partnered with Operation Underground Railroad to nourish their children, because we have a technology that nobody else has. And if everybody in the world had this information, they all be on the product line. You would all be on the product line if you knew what it did. You would all be on the product line if you understood the technology. It's just people don't understand the technology. One, because of what it's doing for you.
How do we actually understand the technology? Where do we get up more information on that? I'd like to know more about it.
Yep, alovea.com, ALOVEA. Otherwise, just go on the link in my bio, in my Instagram, click on the Eradicate Malnutrition tab. All of the information is there. Go watch the videos on Ace Mannin. Yeah, go watch the videos on Ace Mannin. I've seen people get their lives back that were told they would never have them back from things that people, and again, this is not medical claims. I have seen people be told that they were going to be a certain way for the rest of time.
And that was, and one of those people was you.
Yeah, interesting. And the reason that Ace Mannin wasn't approved as a drug because it didn't show toxicity threshold. They tried to get it approved through the FDA. The only way that they could bring it to market was as a natural nutritional supplement. That's why direct sales. That's why network marketing. That's another reason they demonize network marketing and direct sales, because it is a way to get breakthrough technologies out into the world and to help other people. That's the point. They don't want that because Ace Mannin couldn't kill the rats is the reason you have never heard about it, and it's not approved as a drug. It has to show a toxicity threshold. That's a whole different conversation. They got to know how much you can take before it kills you, before it can be that. So people want to know when I got in the rabbit hole. The first place to censor is the medical industry. That was the first place to censor. They own the word. They own any medical term. I can't say the P word that rhymes with rain. You want to know why? Because the medical industry owns that. But we have the number one anti-inflammatory on the product. That's all anti-inflammatory product on the planet. That's all natural, derived from betalain. So again, what causes discomfort then? What causes discomfort?
I had seen something you were talking about inflammatory things being the root cause of just about everything that's bad in us.
Yeah.
You know, inflammatory. I forgot what the terminology was that you used, but
yes, absolutely. I mean, it's true though. I mean, Time Magazine came out and said that in 2008, they made an article talking about inflammation. I mean, so it's common knowledge, but now more and more people are becoming health conscious. What I love about the world today is that more and more people are asking, how do I get better? I've seen and have examples of people changing their lives and being told this and being told that. Okay, now we have a solution. Now I can say, hey, you want to know how to biohack your body and do it through food technology that's going to literally change the world and save the planet? Because everything is now social business. If you're not tied to a social giving in a way where you're making a real difference out in the real world, if you're just getting money in the 21st century, it's going to be malpractice for your business. Everybody should be linking their business to a social cause in the 21st century. There are technologies there, and who's just doing business for money anymore? I don't do things for money. I live in a very, very modest, this is my modest setup. I am a minimalist. I have given up everything to focus on purpose and mission. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm happier than I've ever been.
Nothing wrong with that. You know, it's funny because you had mentioned last night on your live something about the container living, you know, the container homes.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, man, I've seen a lot of those homes that are really nice
for sure.
and they're very user friendly. Everything about those things they're just, you know, those homes are designed to be for creature comfort, but not necessarily aesthetics.
Yeah,
You know, but
yeah.
everything about those homes is user, you know, everything you can do, you know, they're just fantastic.
I mean, it's practicality.
I'd love the idea of having
It's
one of those, you
practicality.
know, home like that. So it was pretty neat to see you say that or hear you
Yeah,
say that.
man, it's practicality at the end of the day. I want to be off grid. I
Yeah,
don't want, you know what I mean?
practicality is the word I was looking for.
I want to raise my children off grid, you know, teach them how to make their own food. I
Yeah.
need to learn how to make you know, like I need to be more self-sustaining, you know. That's the point.
Funny
I
how
want
they
to be a
don't teach
We
sovereign
that in
all
being.
do.
school.
Sovereignty is everything.
No, they don't
They
teach
don't teach that
finances. They
anymore.
don't teach
Yeah.
sustainability.
No,
Teach you how to
they
pass
took
a
that
test.
all away.
I mean, that's Rockefeller though. That
Yeah.
goes back
Yes.
to we all used to know how to farm. We all used to know how to,
Oh,
you know,
we
grow
took
our own
home
food,
ec
all
and
that.
4-H.
95%
We took
of
all those
the
classes.
America.
Shop class. I took all that
Yeah.
in school.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 95% of Americans were farmers at one point in time, and that's
Yes,
how
they
everybody
were.
just worked. That's how everybody just worked. Then they
And
taught
everybody,
people, hey, you got to be a slave for me. Instead of
yeah,
doing that, you come be a slave for me. We're going to put you in our schools, teach you ours just like today.
mm-hmm.
It's easy to see if you have the blueprint, if you know the knowledge, and, you know, yeah.
So do you have kids?
I do. That's why I strive the way that I do for my life.
How many kids do you have? Wow.
You look
Yeah.
so young.
I'm really good at it. I'm really good at having kids, I promise. Yeah.
So you have 5. I'm the oldest of 6. So
Well, there you go.
yeah.
There you go. For sure. Yeah, they're back home in Minnesota. I left my family to be here to finish this mission. And it is my goal to retire by the end of the year so that then we can do whatever we want, whenever we want to with them.
Nice.
As we are providing value to the world, because
What
it's all
does
about
your
give
family
and
think
receive.
about you?
Mhm.
The
Right
time
now?
that I have spent.
Are they supportive behind you?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad have learned that Joel is going to do what he does, but to always trust him and have faith, because I have never been, whenever I follow my intuition, I've never been wrong. When I went against the NCAA, because they own the rights to my name when I was wrestling at the University of Minnesota and went viral the first time, they were kind of hesitant. And, you know, they just wanted to know that I had a plan. And I said, yeah, I have a plan. A couple years later, I essentially, you know, at a young age, was making more money residually in network marketing than some people, you know what I mean? When some people do in a couple months of working. So how can you deny how could you deny what I'm doing? You can't. So they've always been very kind of just like, hey, are you sure you want to do? Because they're conservative. I grew up on a farm. Dad went to the same church, has gone to the same church his entire life. Like, he's going to die in the house that he grew up in. Like, the only reason we got on the farm was because his dad died. We lived in a trailer home like a mile away. And when my dad's dad died, his mom moved out into the town over where he went to church and pretty much gave him the farm. And that's how we got up. And slowly but surely that we made it to the middle class. But they are proud. I believe my dad is very proud. You know, we might not see, he might not agree with how I go about things, but he knows that I am absolutely methodical and calculated, and there's a reason behind everything that I do. And I think that's what the world is starting to figure out too.
I've got a personal question for you.
Yeah.
I've got a personal question. You don't need to answer this if you don't want.
I'm going to answer whatever you ask. I don't care.
He's pretty honest.
I have no shame.
All right.
I have no shame.
I'm curious if your parents are your same race, and if not, how did that affect your life?
Nope. I was the only African American male in the small community of Norwegians that I grew up in.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
So how'd that affect you and how you feel about people as a whole?
Well, I mean, I had to learn. So growing up, I didn't think I was any different. I
Good.
was
Good,
my
good. Those
friend.
are good parents.
My friends were my
That's good
friends.
parents.
I mean, my sister was also adopted. She was also an African
I'm
American,
guessing
and
you're
we were,
probably Generation
we had white
X.
parents, of course.
Oh, you're
I'm
a
31.
millennial. Okay.
I'm a millennial.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't disrespect. You
Okay. So
can't put me in there
we'll
with
just
those
make you an
kids. Like,
honorary
no,
X because
just
Generation X, we just didn't deal with race. We
these
just
kids.
didn't. It wasn't a thing for us. Not
Yeah,
at all.
No, we didn't at all.
yeah. I mean, so for me, it's like growing up the only African American and having a male, and having the presence that I did. Obviously, I was different, but everybody loved me, or I mean,
Kind of
not
like
everybody.
now.
Some people necessarily. Yeah, we're polarizing. We're super polarizing. I had a lot of energy growing up, and I didn't necessarily know how to direct it. I didn't know how to communicate my feelings very well. But when I went off, I went off. And a lot of the times, like if a teacher was trying to get me in trouble, let's say, I was just a kid that spoke my mind. It was fearful. So if these girls were talking over here, but they wanted to direct their energy at me because I'm the one that can get people riled up. But these girls over here are talking way louder than I am. It would be, Joel, you need to stop talking. Wait a minute. Why is Jordan and Britta able to have their conversation as loud as they're able to have it? But you're attacking me. What's going on here? I was always able to just kind of call it like I saw it. And I think now my teachers would respect me for it.
What zodiac sign are you?
So everything was good.
What zodiac sign are you?
What?
I knew it. What's
Gemini.
your birthday? Mine is June 8th.
Yeah.
Nice. And
June 13th.
Trump is on,
Oh, wow.
Friday.
Yeah.
So we are all Geminis rolling here. You can't control us. Our mouth is always going to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I
It can
mean,
be
but
good
it's
or
not
bad.
trouble. It's just energy. Everything is energy. We transmute it. I'm smart enough to be able to take information. If people haven't been able to figure it out by now,
Knew you were a Gemini.
we've done 25 days of improv. I've done 25 days of improv and absolutely owned the mainstream media, Jimmy Kimmel, all of the narratives that these snake, reptilian, whatever they are,
Yes.
beings. Like I've literally destroyed and dismantled everything that they could possibly throw. Why did I get banned off of
The same
TikTok
reason
for no
I got
reason?
kicked off of Instagram.
You know what I
for
mean?
no
I was
reason.
just
Speaking the truth as a
bingo.
conservative.
Well, I mean, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, and so you asked me what it was like growing up in a small community, being the only African American. I had learned people early. I learned when I could see if I made someone uncomfortable. I could study their behavior and go, interesting. If I talk like this, if I kind of soften my voice, if I do this, like I learned almost how to act, how to literally act at a young age because of my interactions and how I wanted to make people perceive me. If I wanted to be intimidating, if I wanted to be inviting, like we just we learned and we gained a lot of people's respect. I feel like I know I'm a hometown hero. If I go back home, I do get a lot of love. I do get a lot of praise. If I go back in Minnesota, I do get a lot of love. I do get a lot of praise. I went from the crazy, kid that didn't want to give up the rights to his name in college to viral many, many times over on TikTok and all of this, all of this other stuff.
I'm glad you said that because I was wondering obviously your parents were upstanding people because you seem to be a really cool guy, a nice person. So I'm wondering, with all that you've done since you left the farm, how do your parents and your family back home feel about what you're doing as of late, fighting and the challenge and how I mean you're pretty strong online as far as how you feel about things, and I think it's fantastic. But how do they feel about you back home?
I mean, so you're talking my parents, or you're just talking like people in general?
Well, it's just family, but from where you grew up, your parents, everybody from that knew you as a child.
I think there's
I mean, obviously you're making some serious waves right now is what I'm getting at. So
I
how
mean,
do you feel about what you?
I always knew I was going to fight. That's why I wrestled at the University of Minnesota. When I was growing up, my dream, I was obsessed with Bruce Lee, and I wrote papers on him in the fourth grade. And my dream was to be like the next Bruce Lee, but I was going to be a Bruce Lee that could wrestle, and I was going to become the most unstoppable fighter on the planet, because that was my dream when I was a little kid. I used to dream about being a UFC champion. And after I got my health back and after I got my life back, I said, I'm going to start fighting, and I'm going to dedicate my life to eradicating malnutrition. I will be the reason that no child dies, and I'll use fighting to gain that platform. I don't want to fight. I hate fighting. Someone is trying to, on my IG, her name is Mushy or something. She keeps trying to come after me that I'm controlled opposition, that I'm Luciferian because of my tattoos and all this shit. And it's just like, what did she say today? She said, yeah, and fighting is like, demonic because you're going, like, girl, I don't want to fight. What are you talking about? I don't ever want to fight. I know I'm good at it, and I know now in the world today it's entertainment, and it's what it gets. It's what gets me in front of people. It's what allows people to go, wow, he's really good at something. But you think I want to punch people? Like this is a spiritual battle for me as well. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to get in the case. Like, what are you talking about? I had head injuries. I don't want to do that. But I know I'm the best in the world at it. I know I have the potential to do everything that I'm able to do. I have the best coaches in the world looking at me and saying, you are the future. You're next. You have the opportunity to be able to do everything that you want to do. So I take that very, very seriously. And that's why I moved away from my children. You understand? That's why I moved away from my family. That's why I moved away from everything that kept me comfortable to dedicate my life to do something great, so that when I do go back, we're done. Very, very soon, I feel like I am going to become, again, we talked about it. I want to retire by the end of the year. What does that mean? Have enough money coming in to where I don't have to do anything else. And I can then focus on my family, and I can focus on the things that I want to focus on. Giving back to humanity. Fight for You NFT. That's why I'm doing the NFT that I'm doing. Why? Because all these other systems don't want to give back to humanity. Okay, I will. If you guys don't want to do it, I'm going to do it. Take it all over to give it all back. Because then people like this mushy girl can leave me alone and stop thinking I'm controlled opposition when I'm actually not, when I actually love people. I just gotta, I got the all-seeing eye. So this is not the all-seeing eye. It is an eye in a impossible triangle for all the listeners that are, he's got an Illuminati tattoo on his neck. No, this is an impossible triangle. So if you're not into poetry, if you're not into metaphors, if you're not into art, if you're not into understand, if you couldn't listen to my music and understand the metaphors that I'm giving you, you would never be able to understand the artwork of the tattoos on my body. So kindly fuck off. I don't know if I'm on a Christian platform or whatever. I apologize, but I need to say this to all of you.
You're on a platform. Period.
Okay, I need to say this to all of you.
You can say what you want to say.
Okay, please. If I was controlled opposition, do you think I would be living in this space? Don't you think? Oh shoot! Whoopsie! I gotta put this. Don't you think if I was controlled opposition, I would have a much better space? If I was Illuminati, I would have a little bit more money in my bank account. I might even have a car. I'm getting a car next week. But I might, what I'm saying? Like, I would be more taken care of if I was a part of the Illuminati or I'm completely against them. They hate me right now. I'm wearing a harness that is mocking and making fun of them, saying that I dominate the media and that I'm next. Okay? So if you could please just stop.
So is that the story behind the harness?
Yes.
Yes, Mark. Haven't you been paying attention to him?
Yeah. So you got to watch. Yeah. No. You got to. So, Mark, if you go on my IG, I have done a video entitled "Why the Leather and Why Jimmy Kimmel," and I literally break it all down. It's becoming my most popular video, and I feel like it allows people to see the mind and see the genius and see why this has been calculated. It's not just some whim of the mill thing. This has been a long process of calculation. Back in May, when I first went viral for the little herpes claim, bro, I broke the internet. I knew I was going to break the internet. I knew what I was going to do before I went into it. I knew these people were going to run with it. They ran with it. And then for however many months, for 5 months, I had to have people say, oh, he's destroyed his sex life. I haven't. He's destroyed he's stupid. Why would he say something like that? To now 5 months later, people are calling me a genius because of that video. Mm-hmm. You understand? So there's a little, the backstory is that, long story short, I dominate the media. One of my buddies makes custom leather gear. His company is Bad Bunny Bondage. He trains with me here at the gym. His name's Justin Jackson. And he makes custom leather work. He makes knives and other things. But over the last year, he started to see how much money he's making doing these like kink events, you know? And he invited me to one of his little like shows and outings and just wanted me to like stand around and wear one of these. And we were joking around. He's like, bro, you should walk out with that to your fight next week. Because I was already planning on going viral, right? I was already planning on saying what I was going to say. And I made a video a month before talking about if you thought I went viral the first time, wait till you see this. That was a month before the fight. And so we just thought that this would make us go more viral. And the analogy was going to be that I dominate the media.
I think it's a great thing you've adopted. That's pretty neat. It's putting a name to you or an image to you that you can later get rid of if you want to. But right now it's working for you. But I want to ask you something real quick. Last night during your live, you said you had divine protection. So my question for you is, even with that being said, do you fear for your life from, pedophiles to satanic cults to the left in general?
Mark,
do you fear for your life?
Mark, look who you're talking to. Look who you're talking to.
Well, I it's nice to be as badass as you are, but a 45 is a 45.
Hey, hear me out. I believe I have transcended this third dimensional bullshit fear-based realm. I have lived a life where I've hated myself and I was afraid of myself. There is nothing else that anybody on this planet could make me fearful of. Here's a perfect example. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the samurai. I was absolutely obsessed with the samurai. I grew up worshiping the Bushido Code after seeing Forrest Whitaker and Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. That movie absolutely changed my life. And it put me, if you don't know what movie that is, it's a black gentleman who ends up working for the mob, like the New York Mafia. And he's like, a samurai is all about honor. And he is a retainer for his lord or the person that he's serving. And he will do anything as a retainer for his cause and for his honor and for his mission. And so I got to learn the philosophies of the samurai and the mind. And one of the things that made them the warriors that they are today, or the warriors that we all know them for, the most fiercest warriors on the planet, was they were actually big into visualization. They were big into meditation. And one of the maxims in the book called Hagakure, the Book of the Falling Leaves, which is known as the Book of the Samurai. It's a bunch of different maxims from all these different, the top samurais, Yamamoto, Musashi, all these people. It says a samurai has to think on death daily. When you wake up, you're thinking about death. And the reason you're doing that is you're deprogramming and desensitizing yourself to death. So what they would do is they would imagine themselves being covered in arrows. They would literally they visualize it, and you literally visualize the arrows going into your eyes, all these just volley of arrows hitting you, and then you die, and then you do it again, and then you die, and then you do it again, and you visualize the pain. You would visualize me being tied up and dropped into water and having to suffocate, and literally imagining myself getting to the point where my eyes are starting to pop out, and then you let go and you release and you're done. And then you do it again and you do it again, and you desensitize yourself from the idea of death. That way, when you go into life, you're not thinking about it. You do it right away in the morning. It's a meditation.
That's a great way to be.
You do it right away in the morning. You die as many terrible, horrible deaths as you can. And then you say, fuck off. I'm going to live my life now. And I'm not going to be fearful. So that's a practice I used to do as a little kid. I don't need to. I can now just be in my day and, do it. And it just kind of puts me on a path of, okay, well, if that happens. What am I going to do about it? Oh, okay, I'm just going to feel a little bit of pain. I've already felt pain before. I've already felt things like, okay, and then I die. So I believe that the universe is mental, and that when you release fear, you're in faith, and when you're in faith, that's where miracles happen. If you look at the Bible, if you read any of the great books, before Jesus did any miracle, what did he say? He said, do you believe? As you believe, so shall you receive. Now, there's other ancient texts as well that believe or that say that the universe is mental. So what if it was all a game of beliefs? If it was all a game of beliefs, then I don't want to operate from a space of fear at all. I've been there before. That's when I was in hell. That's when I hated myself. That's when I was insecure. That's when I wanted to kill myself, and I was my own worst enemy. There is no other enemy that I fear more than myself, and I don't fear myself anymore. I love myself. That's the point.
Are you religious?
It's that pretty face, isn't it?
Yes. I've had to learn how to love myself. I used to look in the mirror. Hey, I got mirrors everywhere.
Oh God,
I got mirrors everywhere. And I used to look at myself in the mirror, and at one point in time, I couldn't smile. I didn't know how. I would look at myself in the eyes, and I would say, "Who are you? What do you want? What are you here for?"
I'm glad you found your way out of that.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes, for sure. Well, I think that's really the point. Cool. I think it's all about transmutation. You have to transmute energy. People want to say, "I'm traumatized. I'm victimized." One of my number one videos on TikTok was a healing video where we went over neurolinguistic programming and how to release trauma instantaneously. Thousands of comments, hundreds of thousands of views. They suppressed the hell out of that video as well because of what we were doing. You go read through the comments. I literally had thousands of people telling me, "Oh my gosh, I felt this. I used to deal with this and I don't feel it anymore. Thank you so much." That's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do street healings or street hypnosis and help people. That's been my goal. I wanted to be like, at one point in time, I wanted to be like a Tony Robbins. Then I realized, let him have his own swag. I have mine. I'm going to give it to the world for free. Doesn't matter. I'll make more money doing what I'm doing in all my other ventures. And now I can just do neurolinguistic programming, energy work, whatever you want to call it, for people for free. That's always been my life. That's how I give back to humanity. You're not going to question my intentions. My intentions are proven. If they weren't, then millions of servings of nourishment wouldn't have gone out to people. Other people in my life wouldn't be healthy because of the information that I gave them. My intentions are shown.
So how do you want your kids to remember you by? What's the legacy you want to leave behind to them?
A being who knew how to control themselves and go after what they want in a focused manner. I want my boys to understand. Right now, they're kind of like me when I was a kid, but they are, respecting all of how the mothers of my children and how they are raised. A lot of the times they are in front of the TV. They are in front of the tablets. And I want to teach them that they can control their minds, that they can control their emotions. If I would have learned that when I was a kid, I would have done everything in my power to have that information. I didn't know that information was available. Now I do, and I feel like by my example, they're going to know that daddy was a reason that no child died from malnutrition. They're going to know that daddy fought to save children who were in a position that was not optimal. And they're going to know by my actions the life that I lived, and I hope that they already see it. They already say it's like I'm their hero in a lot of ways. They call me and they say, "Daddy, look at my muscles." Why do you think they do that? "Daddy, look how many push-ups I can do." I eat a certain way. When I'm around, they'll be like, "Daddy, look, I'm eating this." That I feel like they already see what I am, and I'm grateful. That's another reason that makes me grateful every day is because when I was with them, when I was a stay-at-home dad, for as long as I was, I wasn't necessarily happy. I wasn't. I got my dog is trying to mess I wasn't necessarily as positive as I could be. So that's another reason why I strive to be all that I am today, because this next time, my children, you know, when we spend all the time that we will with each other, they already see daddy being happier than he's ever been. Mm-hmm. It makes them excited to see me as happy as I am. It makes them want to spend more time with me, even though, you know, they're back home right now. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, but I believe I'm at war. I believe this is a campaign. Before, you know, some men back in the day with the swords and the shields, you would go out to war. You would campaign for years.
Yeah.
I look at this as a campaign. After my campaign, I have a kingdom to go back to and to offer my family. Do you think my children are going to look at daddy and go, oh, he wasn't there as much as maybe, but when they understand and get the information, they're only going to be that much more grateful. Andrew Tate just did a really great interview, a 4-hour interview where he talked about his dad. You saw the honor that he had for his dad. And he even talked about, my dad wasn't there all the time, but when he was there, it was about the quality of time. I believe the same thing. I believe children feel intentions. I believe they know when you're present and when they don't.
Yep.
Or when they're not.
Joel, I have a question for you from our producer, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
He wants to know if you have I'm not aware of this, but he says you have a lion sound effect that you use as a trademark sound. He wants to know if you can play that right now for us.
Yeah, of course. So that lion sound is actually, it's a funny story. Like I used to, I make music, I make beats, right? So my whole thing was say it whispering. If you go on my Snapchat, my old Snapchat is say it whispering. That's my Snapchat to this day. All my core fans know, like the past, Joel Bauman. On all my music, it used to be Joel Bauman. That was like my music tag. So one day, again, when my name in your mouth, whisper it because you ain't worthy to say it aloud. Joel Bauman. Like that was my music tag, right? So I was sitting around making beats one day because I used that tag on all my beats. I used to have it be like Joel Bauman. Like I used to put it on all my beats and whatever. And I was sitting around and I accidentally hit a button, and it was one of my yeah, exactly. There are no accidents. And I had my tag up and I accidentally hit like a lower key, and it went.
That's divine intervention.
And I went.
Wow, cool.
That sounded like a lion's roar. What the hell? So I just kept playing it. I'm like, that's my new tag. That's it. A lot of people don't know what that is, but it's just my name whispered, pitch shifted down a few octaves. So.
Well, I hope to ask you that question when you were talking about war, because it sounds like a good thing to bring up during your, how you're discussing being at war. So
divine intervention.
Better
Have
than
you
a
ever
lion
considered
growl
doing
or
like
lion,
voiceover work?
That's pretty neat. Thank you.
Yeah, I have. I've done a little bit of it. Yep, I've already done some. And yeah, this is the year of the takeover. So long story short, my goal by the end of the year was to do everything that I'm doing now. In January, I literally I have my NFT project that we're launching. I believe it's going to change everything. We're literally going to change everything in December, November. Here's the real story. I had an ex-fiance. I have an ex-fiance now. And, when she was around, I was like, I wasn't necessarily being all that I could be, let's just say. And I told her, I'm like, baby, we need to get in NFTs. We need to do this. We need to do that. And she ended up exiting my life. And then after that, I made the decision, like I just gave this person a bunch of my time, a bunch of my energy. I need to direct this energy into me. And if I can direct this energy into me, I believe there's many things that I can do by the end of the year. So here are some of the things that I was going to do by the end of the year that I've already done. That I made a promise to myself in January. 1, launch my NFT. We should be launching in the next 6 weeks, and we're going to change everything. 2, be in a Netflix series or documentary or a movie. We've done that. 3, be on Infowars or Louder with Crowder. We've done that.
Yeah.
4, retire myself. And 5, get at least 100,000 followers on, at least one of my platforms. We've done that. You understand? We've pretty much done all of those things. So I'm grateful. We're literally self-actualizing reality right now. That's why I remain in a space of gratitude. That's why I don't take any day for granted. That's why I respond to as many comments as I can. That's why I get on podcasts like this, where I can tell you guys are of good heart, of good mind, of sound reason. And I say, yeah, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Because I don't, when I told myself when I made it, whatever that means, I don't even believe in making it anymore. I believe that you create reality, that I was going to give back to humanity. Nobody can say that I haven't done that. I'm not too big for anybody. I'll talk to whoever. That's why I'm doing the Instagram lives now. I'm going to talk to whoever. I want to hear what the people have to say. I want to connect with you all. Why? Because I grew up in a small town, and connecting with people is everything. People need to know your intentions. They need to know who you are.
Agreed.
Yeah. So would you be able to do a Jimmy Kimmel challenge for us on the podcast?
Yeah. Can you,
Cool.
can you guys send this audio to me today? Or this video to me today so I can do it? Absolutely.
Yes, we will.
Hold on. Let me before you do it, let me get my camera out. I'll record it for you right now.
For sure. Way. Perfect. Jimmy Kimmel Challenge, day 26 with all of you. Let's go.
Hold on. I gotta take this out. Give me a sound check.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
Go ahead.
All right, day 26 of the Jimmy Kimmel Challenge. We are on the Politics Plus podcast. Everybody say hi to Mark, Danny, Mel, and Michelle.
Where you
what
at,
do you guys
Jimmy?
got to say to Jimmy? What's the word? Everybody gets everybody.
Exactly. Where are you?
Come on, Jimmy.
Would you please respond?
Where are you?
I love it. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, you'd think that he would. Like, I mean, but hear me out. It's the best play in the world. Because if he doesn't respond, and that's what people don't get. Like, if he doesn't respond, I just continue to win. I'm only gaining more followers every day. I'm only gaining more traction every day. But if you do say my name again, I win even more. And you can't, some people say, well, what happens if he comes after you for defamation? He said my name first, and he tried to insinuate to the world that I had genital herpes.
Yeah, he did.
What are you talking about? I'm just rebuttaling.
Wow.
You didn't take the childhood malnutrition story. You took me saying I had herpes and ran with that instead of saving children.
He's FOing.
You're a moron. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. You made it easy for me.
There won't be none.
That was the easiest bait. And I told people back in May. I tweeted it out. This is going to be the greatest bait and switch of the media of the 21st century. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been.
To take down Hollywood.
To me, it has been. There's nobody else that has essentially there's nobody else that has done a coup d'etat with the media, flipped it on them, and is now trolling the establishment until we get answers. I believe by the end of next year, I am one of the most powerful people on the planet. Andrew Tate is having his time. All these other influencers have had their time. I believe by next year, because of how I do things,
let's go.
I will be one of the most powerful influencers on the planet. And that's the point.
So are you saying it's good that we had you on today then, Joel, because we won't be able to get a hold of you in about 6 months or so?
Nah, bro, you did get a hold of me. That's the thing. And hear me out. Like, I'm making it a goal, and I'm making it an intention to never be too big.
Oh.
Yeah.
I respond to my own comment. I don't got an agent. I respond to every comment.
And
it's annoying.
Can I tell you a little secret, Joel?
What?
If you keep that attitude, you will reach your goals.
Exactly.
Because people will love you for that. People will gravitate to you because of that. So keep that attitude.
Have to.
Please.
Have to. At one point in time, I told you I spoke for a living. I used to speak in front of sold out crowds. People coming to see me. And at one point in time, I was miserable. You understand? Like, even when I had everything, when I was making music, when I was doing all this, I was miserable. I would look at people and I wouldn't be able to tell, like, they would be my best friends, but I would look at them and I'd be like, what do you want? Like, in my mind, I'm like, what do you want? You just want me to make you money. You just want me to dance like a little monkey. You just want me to close this business deal for you. And I started to hate people. I started it because I just thought I was this performing monkey in the zoo because everybody's looking at me like I'm this, blah, blah. But I'm just the dude that's willing to read the book and then apply it to my life. I'm not special. Why are you guys looking at me? I would always ask the crowd, why are you looking at me like I'm special? I'm just like you. And what hurts me most is that you guys think that I'm some of this spectacular, crazy person. No, I just wanted to change my life so bad. I just want to change. And that's all. I desired it. I was willing to do whatever it took to become who I am. And if that was to read a book because someone told me that would get me to become more, because you can only earn what you become, then I was going to do that. I was going to do whatever it took to become more. So I'm not, to me, I haven't been necessarily special. That's why I was like, you're Illuminati. Nah, you idiot. I just worked really hard to get to where I am. I read a bunch of books. I listened to a bunch of audios. I cried. I did some inner healing. I had to figure out why I believed what I believed and had to work on the child. Why didn't I listen to my inner child sooner? He was right about so many things, and I disrespected him. I disrespected myself. No more. I'm done with that. Eat a dick. Nope. No, you can do that to the rest of society. You can get the rest of society not to believe in themselves, not to do that. But if you guys just need an example, if you guys need that, then if you think I'm a worthy enough example, cool. But I'm just going to live my life now. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say or what anybody thinks. I don't care. Like he's wearing a BDSM satanic cup. No, it means I dominate the media. And yes, I'm Daddy Dom King too. You understand? Like I can be everything. I don't just have to be one thing. I can be many things. I can be beautiful. I can be smart. I can be intellectual. I can be a warrior. I can be a humanitarian. Don't tell me what I can and can't be. I can be the baddest rapper on the planet that nobody wants to fuck with. That's why you don't say my name. I can be all of those things. The world doesn't get to tell me what I am and what I'm not anymore. I do. And if you have a problem with that, well, then you have a problem with God because he gave us free will.
Yes, he did.
That's right.
So eat a dick.
Do you have any regrets of anything that, that's happened to you, or you don't see it that way?
I don't see, how can I say this? I just had a conversation.
It's all life lessons, right?
Yeah, I just had a conversation with somebody.
The good and the bad.
I just had a conversation with somebody like a month ago, one of my buddies. And he asked me kind of something similar. And I said, you know what? I used to go back and I used to think, man, of all like the women that I've been with in my life or had experienced, and man, if I could go back and I could, talk to this girl a certain way or da-da-da. And I just went, nah, all of those experiences made me who I am. And exactly. I wouldn't want to add in any more energy. I wouldn't want to have any less energy, because at the end of the day, a lot of me being a sexualized child, I feel also makes me prone to wanting to do something about sex trafficking. Like I was sexualized at a very young age, probably because I was the only African American in a small community. Everybody had expectations, shall we say, and wanted to see if rumors were real. I look at it and I go, now I don't have any regrets, because all of my upbringing has made me what I am. And if I was any less or any more, like I am the person that the younger me wanted to be. How I believe in myself, how I talk to myself on a day-to-day basis. I am who I wanted to be, and I'm only going to continue to grow and become more. I am not content. Everybody looks at me and say, oh, you got muscles and I am never content with myself. I am always, how do I get 12 of my abs? How do I get a muscle on this muscle? How do I become more flexible? How do I become, how do I lower my heart rate down to 5 beats a minute? You understand? Like, how do I get there? I want to be like Wim Hof and be able to climb Mount Everest in just my shorts and say, fuck off the cold and the weather. I want to be a superhuman because I believe we all have that potential. What if becoming more like Jesus was growing and becoming more? What if they were just examples of possibility? That's why I say I want to be an example. My life mantra is, may I be an example of possibility. I look at Wim Hof. I look at Tony Robbins. I look at all these business people or whoever that have mastered the third dimensional realm in some shape or form. Anyone that's mastered the third dimensional realm in some shape or form, they inspire me. And through that inspiration, it makes me want to grow and become more. If we always grow and we continue to reach new levels and new heights, how can you not say that that couldn't be an example of what maybe Jesus was trying to teach? Or if you believe in other thing, Buddha or whoever, what if it was a path of growth to get you to a certain space and a certain frequency and a certain vibration, and the vibration was love? What if Christ was a consciousness and it was that of unconditional love? When you're in unconditional love, you can forgive easier. You forgive. It's just in your nature. I want to live from a space of I love everybody. Don't touch my kids though.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Are you religious?
Don't touch. Don't hurt people.
Sounds like you're religious.
Am I religious?
Yeah.
I grew up and wanted to be a pastor. I was called
Really?
Bible boy growing up. My only goal was to lead people to Jesus. I led many of my friends to Jesus. That was what I was good at. I think I was good at sales at a young age because I just was always able to. I went to this seminar with my dad, and this gentleman had a system where he would ask 5 questions and you would be able to lead people to Jesus. To this day, I can remember them. First one was, do you have any kind of spiritual belief? That was the first one. To you, who is Jesus? 3, if you died right now, where would you go? If heaven, why? 4, if you believed if what you believe were not true, would you want to know it? And if they said yes, then you would walk them down the path of some Bible verses and lead them to Christ. And at the end of the day, when I look at it, it was just high level sales, right? It's understanding the mind. It's understanding, hey, if you don't have all the answers, first off, what do you believe about this? Okay, if you don't have all the answers, are you open to more? You're essentially giving people information. That's what you're doing when you're leading people to Christ.
Leading someone to God is essentially the same exact thing as sales, like he said. It's a sales pitch.
And you want to know what's crazy?
On a much higher level.
You want to know what's crazy? I've always been the one to be able to do that. And people looked at me like I was so special. It used to piss me off, like even growing up, like I was like, you guys say some of my friends would make fun of me, or just like, they wouldn't be as vocal or as passionate as I was about leading people to Jesus. And it's like, wait a minute, you guys are all here with the same information. Why aren't you talking to people and as passionate about if that's what our mission is to be on this earth, is to lead people, then why aren't you more loud? And it's because they gave a shit what people thought about them. I learned that at a very early age in sales and network marketing. What allowed me to have success is that I learned, hey, this person doesn't have what I want. Why the fuck would I give a shit if they care that I do direct sales or network marketing, when all of my other friends would be like, oh, my family, I can't tell my family what I'm doing. Why not? The products are only going to help them. Why not? It's only going to help them feel better. Why not? It's going to save children. We are so programmed to give a shit what other people think that you are willing to take away opportunity from yourself and other people. I refuse to live that way. And I think that's why people call me inspiring. It's not that I'm inspiring. It's that I've got it in my mind that you are all crazy. I'm not crazy. I think if you're too insecure to share something else with somebody that could help somebody, you're a moron. You're not good for humanity. If you want to talk about Satan, you're being swindled. Why are you suppressing yourself? I've been able to touch thousands and millions of people now just because I wasn't afraid to tell everyone what everybody was already thinking. That's stupid. That's stupid. Somebody said I shouldn't have a platform like the other day trying to try to come. And I just said, yeah, you're probably right. This is dumb. This is dumb. I don't think that, I think it's dumb that I've gone viral the way that I have, but I knew it would work. And now the world is just kind of catching up to why did it have to come to this? Why does it have to come to this that I have to be the one to tell you guys about Ace Mannon? You should already know. Why is it that I have to be the one to tell people about Limitless, the all-natural anti-inflammatory that's just comes from betadine? Betadine is found in beets. It's the anti-inflammatory property found in the beet. We extract it from the sugar molecule and put it in a capsule, and one capsule is 500 beets worth of betadine, which lowers the inflammatory markers in a human by 47%. Why doesn't everybody have that information? At one point in time, people used to look at me and they used to go, oh, this is just one of those things. Now people are like, wait a minute, there's an all-natural anti-inflammatory. You see, sometimes things just take time. Yeah. Sometimes things just take time. You can't literally call me crazy. You can't call me, he said he had herpes. He's crazy. He's an idiot. Till 5 months later, I'm a genius. Nah, I don't give a shit what people fucking say. Because people don't think. I don't care what people that don't think. It has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
Don't think.
Yep.
That's a good saying.
You either understand history or you trust your government.
That's a great line right there.
Yep.
Yep, for sure.
We get it.
You guys get it.
Anybody have any more questions to ask Bau while he's still with us?
Come on, man. We're just getting warmed up. This is easy.
I've got one for you.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Well, you're an advocate for child hunger and for feeding children, and as you've already discussed, you've already told us about. How do you feel about sex trafficking and pedophilia among kids? Obviously with kids. What are your, do you feel as strong about that as you do feeding children and getting that issue solved?
With Mark.
Look at him. Just look.
What's that?
So there's a lot of nuances. So a lot of people don't know nuance. They don't know how to recognize nuance. I had a dick collar on. You know what I mean? Like everything is calculated. Everything that I do is calculated. So I had a dick collar on when I was in the ring, and I said, eat a dick. But I do this. I say, eat a dick. I'm sending quite a clear message about what I believe and what I feel.
Yep.
You don't hurt children. You don't hurt women.
So you're pretty passionate about it then.
Women are to be protected and worshipped. They have a pleasure spot in their body for a reason, and that is because men are to be at their feet worshiping them because they bring life into the world. That is what our duty is. Our duty is to become
won Mel's heart.
I'm just saying, our duty is to become the most powerful being that we can as men, physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, to be able to provide women their queendoms. That is the point, because they bring in our children who we love more than anything. So they are to be protected, honored, and worshiped. If you hurt children or you hurt women,
that's how it should be.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's divine. No, that's divine. That's universal law. It all comes back around. You don't think that these people are going to get what the reason I don't fight outside of the cage and the reason I don't get in any of that is because it's either life or death. This is entertainment at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when I stand in front of someone and do this, that's entertainment. If I truly wanted to hurt that person, I'm going to kick out their knee. I'm going to, stomp on their neck after I kick on their knee one time, and then I'm going to go to the next threat because it's all about threat assessment. You talk to anybody in the military, you talk to anybody that's about it, who has bodies under them. It's take out the threat, take out the nearest threat. That's so even when I'm in the cage, like if you saw my last fight, bro, I'm chill. This is competition. This ain't up. This is okay. Motions. That was one of the laziest fights I've ever had. And I dominated. Why? Because it's not a big deal to me, because violence is beyond that. I know. Violence is beyond that. So to people that hurt women and children, they will pull that side out on me. And I don't feel like someone in a cage deserves that energy. Just because you sign the dotted line to compete against me, that doesn't mean that you can pull that energy out of me. That's archangel energy. People say, hey, you keep talking about archangels, demons, da-da-da. No, I'm my archangels and I'm my demons. You guys are my archangels and my demons. Think about this. If I went missing right now, or if I went radio silent, Do you know how many people have reached out and said, bro, if anything happens to you, tomorrow, this is happening. I got this person online. I got this person. That's my archangels. That's my, do you really want to shake? You want to really want to shake up the world with that? Because people can be demons too.
Yeah.
Think about if child sacrifice is real, let's just talk about that. If child sacrifice is real, then that means that there must be some terrible individuals out there who are willing to do terrible things. So if people are willing to take it to that level, are you, if they came to you? Oh, you bet your ass I am. What? It is my dream to die fighting. I don't believe in death. But if I did have a fucking death, I would love it to be fighting for my life. Let me bring out my full potential. I don't even fight with my coach is always like, Joel, you're so nice. Would you just be mean? When you're mean, you're unbeatable. And it's like, coach, I don't want to punch people in the face. He coached John Jones, and he's looking at me like I'm the next best thing, saying you could just do so much more, but you're not mean enough sometimes. Sometimes you just got to get mean. Like when you're mean, nobody can. Coach, I don't want to get angry today. No. I don't want to be angry today. You understand? I don't want to live there. If I need to, I'm going to, but I don't even need to do that to win fights. I can just be relaxed because violence and entertainment are two different things. But if you hurt women or children,
I agree.
It's your ass. Okay.
Well, that answers that question.
Yeah. Don't disrespect the divine feminine. The divine feminine is what's going to change this. The divine feminine has ushered in the change that we need for the world. And that's what they're doing, is they're manipulating these kids with their emotions, these liberals, these young kids. They get them emotional because the principle is right. Respect women. Respect people. Let people do what they want to do. Love everyone. All of that is real. They put the spin on it to be able to manipulate. And that's the issue, right? They want them so emotionally charged that they're not able to understand the nuance of some specific things. We talk about nuance a lot. You know, if a man wants to feel this way and feelings change. You know, at one point in time, I felt like I didn't like this. I didn't know Owen from Infowars, but I didn't necessarily like him. I've had a lot of people who didn't necessarily like me before they met me. They felt a certain way. And then after meeting me, they feel different. You can feel different things. So does that mean that's what you are? Does that mean that's what the situation is? That's how they manipulate. That's the nuance that they don't want these children or these people that they're manipulating to understand. So, Kip, you need to chill, bro. My dog is freaking out. Come here. Come. Good boy. Good boy. Kip would like to say hi. He is freaking out.
Hello, puppy.
He's pretty chill, isn't he?
Does I need to go outside and go potty,
he's been
Dad?
going crazy underneath here. Yeah, I know.
We can wrap this up.
He's
we appreciate
he's got a dookie,
being here and waking up to be our guest today.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're good. He actually woke me up, and then I saw his message. Like, I always do a daily walk. I don't touch my phone right away. That's the first thing I don't want to do. Like, I want to get up. I want to go out on a walk. I want to get the sun, be in the sun, get some grounding, put my feet in the grass. Yeah, 100%. And then I'll go to my phone, and then I'll do, I'll respond to, yes, absolutely. But that's not the first thing I want to do.
That's what I'm going to have to do when this is over. Go deal with the Instagram BS. See if I can get my accounts back up. And if I don't, then,
Yeah, you get it. You get it. You already know. Yeah. Exactly. Any other questions? Give me some more. Give me something that somebody's afraid to ask. Give me one thing that, you feel like might be pushing the envelope.
I have a few.
No. Hey, I feel like this has been, hear me out. To be completely honest, I feel like this has been very safe for a lot of you motherfuckers. Okay? Give me something crazy. Like, give me a fucking headline breaker. Like, let me give you guys something for your platform. Ask anything. I don't give a. Hey, look at me. I'm in a fucking. Look at what I'm wearing. I have no shame. Get out of my armpit.
All right, I've got one for you then.
All right, let's go.
Well, from what I've seen of you so far, I mean, I've learned a lot about you today. Is that you're actually a really sensitive, actually very caring individual. But one of the things I've known about you up until this point is that you have a. Is he frozen? Is that you've got a badass image, and you're a toxic male, as I always say. That's great. So this might not be the headline you were looking for.
Let's go.
But
Come on.
tell us something that makes you, King Bau, emotional.
My children.
I could have told you that.
My children. I mean, hey, man. Hey, I'll be completely candid.
Give us a specific story about your children that makes you emotional. Like I'll give you mine real quick.
Yep.
And the girls have been giving me a hard time for a while about these. You see these?
Yeah. Yep.
My 10-year-old daughter painted my fingernails about a week ago, and I can't bring myself to taking it off because I love her so much. Mm-hmm. I love the memory of her doing that.
You can put away your pride.
Something that
you're a good dad. You're a good dad. You can put away your pride to make sure your children are happy. That's the point.
Thank you.
You know, so for me, at the pinnacle of my career, the pinnacle of my success, I got 2 girls pregnant at the same time. So you want to talk about toxic masculinity, toxic, like when I hated myself, when I was a stay-at-home dad and I had everything that I wanted, but I was still unhappy because I wasn't doing necessarily all the things that I wanted to be doing like I am now, like videos, like music, like at the level that I wanted to do it, fighting. I was miserable. And, you know, during that time, the mother of my children, she moved out. You know, we were still like trying to make things work as a family with the programming there, right? There's this little, we gotta make things, you know, and it was just not necessarily the best environment. And ultimately, during that time, it made me realize like how grateful I was for my children. I was spoiled. I was a young 20-year-old that was a stay-at-home dad. I could do whatever I wanted. You know, within reason of my budget, and I could wake up whenever I wanted to. That is what, you know, kind of put me on the path. Shortly after, I lost everything. You know, child support ended up getting crazy because both the mothers of my children, you know, put it on me at the same time. And we have, you know, me and one of them have a much better relationship today, and the other one is, you know, coming around and like we're a lot more cordial than we were. But at one point in time, I couldn't even get a FaceTime. And when I couldn't get a FaceTime, and when I couldn't, when I was working at a co-op after I lost everything and I could barely pay my bills, and I'm getting called into the office with my manager, and he's like, Joe, how are you surviving? I see how much money they're taking out of child support. Like, what is going on? Like, I just say, hey, you know, I'm fine. Like, I got other things going on, knowing damn well that I was getting ate up, but just surviving. But I had too much pride to ask for arrears. I've never asked to change the amount of child support that I had to pay from when I was making the crazy amount of money that I used to be making for some to when I was damn near living out of my car. You want to know why? Because I'm not going to say that I'm not abundant. So the thing that made me emotional, I was very emotional during that time because all I wanted was a FaceTime. All I wanted, you know, I went from being able to see them all of the time to seeing them maybe once a week, and I would have to drive 2.5 hours out of the cities to go visit them at my dad's because that's the only place that that the mother of my children would allow or permit. And just it was you know, there's healing. I'm not saying that all of the mothers of my mothers of my children are wonderful beings. There's just been a lot of healing that's needed to take place. And that has been the thing that broke me. A lot of people don't realize how many times I broke down, you know, before 2 of my fights, I had a breakdown where I just wanted to see my kids. And one of my fights, my bare knuckle fight against Brandon Johnson, I got in a quite the heated argument with one of the mothers of my children beforehand. And I was just like, you know, all I want to do is see my kids. I feel like you're making it difficult. And at the end of my interview, my post-fight interview, I literally say, I just want to see my kids. That ain't fucking scripted. That ain't off the cuff. That's a father that all I want to do is be where I'm going to be. And that's why I don't have time for emotions. Like, I would get emotional right now, but there's just no time for it because I'm in war. I have to do everything that I'm doing to provide the life that I want to provide for my children because they deserve it and I want to be with them. That's all I want.
Do you have any girls?
Yes, I have a girl. Her name's Tiana. She is daddy's little baby. She is always going to be daddy's little princess. Yes.
Would you agree that I have one daughter and one son, and what I always tell everybody, even though they're adopted, and I love them like they're my own, because they are my own, there is a difference between a father's love for his daughter and a father's love for his son. There's a completely different love. So do you agree with that?
My boys are alpha.
What I'm getting at is your son.
My boys are alpha. My boys are already divinely masculine in their own right. Now we just got to cultivate it and get them to learn how to honor and worship women the right way, the healthy way, the respectful way. But baby Tiana, I still call her, you know, baby, and you know, she's my princess. You don't mess with Tiana, and that's how my boys are going to learn.
The way I look at it is a father looks at his sons and knows that they can take care of themselves more and more as they get older. But a daughter, you always believe that she'll always need you because you're dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great feeling to have. I just wanted to ask that question because there is a difference between the love of with your daughters or your sons. I think so.
I think every one of them has made me cry. Anyway. I think every one of them has made me cry.
Sure.
In a similar regard, but just what I feel is, like you said, Tiana is just different. Tavian, Titus, Triton,
those are some biblical
Nico,
names now.
They're the boys. They're fine.
Wow.
Yep.
Right. Well, yeah. So, so my boys, I had twins right away, Tavian and Titus. So we agreed on, like T's, because my birth name is Trayvon. So my birth name is Trayvon, and I wanted to do a little T theme, right? So Titus is obviously a king, and we were in the operating room, and we were trying to figure out the last name, and I looked up what Tavian means. So Titus means twin, and Titus means king. Tavian means twin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right.
it was perfect.
Like
Trump or
it was
Biden?
divine.
Tavian. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. It's not even a fucking. Is that even a question? First off, I don't know. Hey, I will say this: I'm supposed to speak with Trump. At
He's a
an
nice
event coming
guy.
up potentially in
He's super great.
Yeah, Bedminster, New Jersey. Yeah. So, I look at it like this: I don't know any of these people. I don't trust anyone until I meet them, until I am able to feel your energy and feel your character. I respect everything that he has done. Do I watch his interviews? Yes. Did I support his movement? Absolutely. Because he was a figure that came out and went in and didn't need to. I respect that. Just like me with fighting. I don't need to be here.
And Trump
I didn't
chose
need to
to
be
fight.
here. I chose to fight. You understand? Yep. No, exactly. So I look at it like, I feel like you can't deny any of the things that he has done.
There's so much brainwashing and programming
From gas prices to business to policies. Yes, absolutely. But I feel like he has been able to allow people to see kind of through the bullshit. Fake news. He always coined the term fake news. Well, of course it's all fake. Like now everybody says that. Like now everybody's like, that's not a big thing anymore. They want to watch people like me, or they want to watch other influencers that are, being real. That helps because of his personality. He understood the internet. He understood marketing. He understood all of that. I do too. And I feel like we are the ones that are winning. Andrew Tate understands the mind, understands he understands sales and everything that we're talking about. All of us understand it at some capacity. And that's what is refreshing to me about him is that I think he's a gateway into
I
personal
agree with
development.
that because he
I
does
think
want
Trump
to
is a gateway into
enrich
personal
the
development.
citizens of this
And
country.
I
He
think
doesn't want to
personal
make
development
them
is
poor. And it seems as though this regime that's currently in control is trying to eliminate the middle class so that you have the elite and then you have the serfs. It's like we're on the road to serfdom. Yeah, the middle class is the only thing standing in their way.
Yeah, because that's how they control AI, China. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, China is trying to take over everything. The New World Order, all of this. You know, I say China,
It's
but
Davos.
if you want to talk about it, it's the New World Order agenda, just in general. Yeah, all of that. You know, so I just I would want to feel their energy. Like my whole thing is I would love to get into politics.
That's what I'm here for.
And expose everything. I would just love to be the dude in the thing. Hey, they're trying to put this in this bill.
Bill should be no more than 2 pages.
Hey, everybody, why are you doing that?
No,
Exactly.
That's what they're trying to do while they money launder.
I'm not trying to
100%.
confuse the people.
Yes. See, we're all saying, listen, look at, you see my face when you guys are talking? I'm like, yeah. See, this is the problem.
We're in an echo
what we're doing
chamber.
right now, that's the problem. How can we all be sitting here knowing all this information
and listen.
and nothing
They just
changes?
want to fight and scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's why we have to be changed.
Yeah.
That's why we have to do things. Like, why the Jimmy Kimmel challenge? Because if nobody else is going to do something about it, well, then I'm going to allow the conversations to happen. You know, some people sit back and like, why doesn't Joe Rogan talk about this? Why doesn't these influencers talk about this? Okay, I hear you. I think the same. But now I'm going to start talking about it. And I'm going to do it how I want to do it. And I don't want to hear shit about how I'm doing it because you're not doing it. So fuck
Exactly.
off. That's why the Jimmy Kimmel challenge.
Yeah.
That's why all this has come to point. You realize that if this is the end of the world, if this is the end game, well, this would be the time to stand up and fight. And history will either show that I'm right or that I'm wrong. And I believe that I'm right. So if this is the point, then that means I am a soldier and I am fighting this spiritual war. I am a frontline soldier. So I look at that as divine. I don't disrespect why I am here. That's why, even though I'm tired and that I'm making a video every single day, and there's a lot of energy that goes into that, I honor where I'm at and what I'm being anointed with because I asked for it. I'm not going to disrespect what I asked for. If I could be the reason that no child dies, respectfully, I will be a billionaire because of that. You understand? And then I can actually create systems of change like how I want to. Fuck Bill Gates. Fuck all these motherfuckers. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
You understand? Hey, I'm going to donate and live off of 1% of my income and make them have to go, he's doing, how do we stop? You can't stop me. That's the point. You can't stop me.
Agreed.
That's the point. I'm going to give everything back to humanity. If you guys aren't, I'm going to. Eat a
We're not eating bugs.
My children deserve a better world.
Yep.
Than what you're giving them. You're trying to take away my children's rights.
They've already put them
You're trying to take away my children's rights before they even know what they are.
Exactly.
That's horse shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. Our daddy's going to provide them a super dope world. And you're not going to take it from them.
You're going to have to deal with consequences.
And if you do, you got the archangels and the demons on your ass.
That's it. And somewhere along the lines, people have forgotten that.
Government is supposed to fear its people.
That's right.
Why, you ask me, what are you? Try to Jeffrey Epstein me. Try it.
I don't know. Is he still alive?
No, seriously.
What do you mean? He killed himself.
No, fuck out of here. Hey, no, fuck out of here. Try to Jeffrey Epstein me. I'm saying it loud and proud. I don't give a shit. What are you going to do? Hillary Clinton, all of us? Okay, then just drop the fucking bomb already. Like, fuck off. The people have already won. We're already having these conversations. You're done manipulating. That's what people don't get. We've already won.
I have a feeling,
you just got to act
Joel,
like it.
I have a feeling that you're already on the Hillary Clinton suicide list. You know, the suicide
Okay,
watch
I'm not
list, or
Hillary
whatever you
suicidal.
want to
list.
call that.
Make this
Gosh,
clear. I am
no,
not
no,
suicidal.
gosh. No,
Oh,
I'm
yes,
not.
you
Hey,
are.
That's
I'm
right.
not. Hey,
That's
look at me.
right.
I'm too pretty to be suicidal. Do you know how many? Hey, my DMs
Yeah.
are
Are you
crazy.
getting more attention
Okay,
from
I'm
men or
so
women
grateful
right
and
now?
so honored. Hey,
It's always the ladies.
it's always like, it's very interesting because like, if you didn't know, a lot of people don't know this. I used to dance, for a while. Now my price is crazy, so nobody can afford me. But I always look at it like this. At one point in time, when I was like growing up in the church, my biggest fear was to be like gay, and my biggest fear was gay people, just because of the programming of the church. Now I look at them as like my fucking like, they're like my funny little brothers that just like want to fuck me. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I love you over there. Like, you're cool, but like, I'm not into that. I worship the divine feminine. And here's the thing: all of my gay friends love and respect me as such. They see I'm a pretty individual. They know I don't judge them. Go do whatever you're going to do. It's just not for me. I love you. I honor you. I worship you. Like, unconditional love. Don't fuck kids, though.
Yeah.
Don't use that as a cover to fuck kids. Okay? Let's just not do that. You can do whatever you feel. But for me, I love women. I think it's proven by my 5 children in a very, very short amount of time.
Do you want more?
And I think, that's why I'm King Bau. That's the point. Yeah, I plan on having we have an army. What?
Farm.
Wow.
If I can, when the aliens appear, I'm getting Assyrian. I'm getting I'm having out of worldly children and all of it. I want enough land to where it's a kingdom. Who wants to live in my kingdom? Well, I'll have my own civilization of people who are free and sovereign. And if I have as many children as I want to have, then awesome. Who cares? I gave back to humanity. Fuck off. Many of the ancient kings had multiple wives and many children. I'm not saying that is this time, but what I am saying is I worship and honor the divine feminine. Do you realize every woman in my life right now loves being in my life? They honor me. They respect me in a certain way. They see that I love and I cherish and I honor them. They say animals can feel energy. You see how this guy hasn't left me alone.
What's his name?
He hasn't left me alone since I've been on this podcast. Yes. So in the same sense that women and children can feel energy, animals can too. And if I have multiple people that want to worship me or whatever, then what am I? That's my birthright. I used to be insecure about that. I used to not know how to handle attention from women. It would be like black women especially would like, they would intimidate me because I came from this small community, and black women, when I go up to the seats, they'd be like, "Hey, handsome," and I'd be like, now I love black women. It's just like, give me that energy. I love you, queen. You are incredible. I just, yes. Yeah. No, literally.
What's your pup's name?
Literally. Yeah.
Kim?
For sure. Kip is his name. So my first dog's name was Kip. And 3 months ago now, I got called after my ex-fiance left with my other dogs. I just been like, man, I really want a dog. So finally, when I made the kind of bet to myself that I was going to retire by the end of the year, I was like, I'm going to get another dog because I want to be able to take care of something else other than myself. Right. So I went to the Humane Society. So my first dog's name was Kip. He died in college when I was there. That was my first dog. He's a border collie. And so I was at the Humane Society 3 months ago, and I was walking around looking at the dogs, and I saw the name Kip. And I was like, no way. So it was divine intervention. I had to get him because, he paid homage to my first dog, who's Kip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's pretty cool.
Lost my
he's
husky
just a lot sometimes.
Ago.
He's a puppy.
14,
he's a year.
So I get the love of a dog. I get it. I'm not ready to get a new dog yet, but
yes, you get it.
yes, I have my kitten.
But until then, there's Trump baby.
He's an orange cat, so you know, orange cat good.
Trump baby, is that your kitten? Awesome.
Trump baby.
Yep. I had one too growing up.
Well, thanks for joining us today,
do this thing. Let's let him get
Joel.
on
It's been a
with his day and
fantastic
let
talk.
Kip
Are you
out
guys
for a
ready to wrap
walk.
this up, or?
Yeah.
He's gonna poop.
Yeah, I think he's gonna poop immediately when we get outside. So
I think they know him.
You better get a shirt on and get outside.
I mean, nah, dude, who cares? Like I live at a gym.
Exactly.
I live at a gym
You
full of
don't care,
alpha
that's
males.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like they
Just keep
they know
doing you.
Joel
We
now. They don't give a
appreciate-
shit.
You don't have to care, Joel.
No.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Yes, we do.
I'm honored by you guys. Thank you for you. And if you ever need anything, you let me know. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, grateful.
Take care.